Hey guys, I want to continue on the Is It Good series where I break apart the highest levels of competitive play, and my goal is to see, is it good? The player, the build, the hero, any one of those three. The goal is to see if this playstyle of this hero on this is good, and today we're going to be looking at TigerJK's LiMing. Now, TigerJK was an HCC player on Simplicity, was an amazing player, one of the best supports that I've seen, and he's shifted over into multiple different roles. In fact, I've seen TigerJK on almost every single role in the competitive scene since then, and boom! Followed up a single sleep, doing 100 to 0 at level 1. Now, TigerJK is playing LiMing. There are a lot of LiMing 1 tricks out there that can do some incredible stuff. But when it comes down to it, you need to be, as a competitive player, you need to be able to pick up these heroes and pick the right one for the job at the right time and not be easily countered because everyone already knows what you're going to play. And so TigerJK is known for playing a wide range of heroes. In fact, in the last two Is It Good series, he's played TigerJK's, he's played Jaina, and now he's on to LiMing. So is he even good with all of these heroes, or is he just picking them because his team needs them? And that's what we're here to see. That being said, we're going to be pointing out anything in particular that he does differently on LiMing than many of the other LiMing players that we might see, and we also going to be breaking down the build that he's going to see if this is the type of build that you want to copy for your Storm League games. First thing that he takes is Aetherwalker. Now, some of the things that Aetherwalker does is it allows you to, if you need to grab a lot of things in between different areas, it allows you to move around very quickly. It's comparable to mount speed, especially after the mount speed nerfs and the buffs to Aetherwalker. And it also does one more thing. It increases the damage of your magic missiles by 10%. So what this whole talent does is it makes it to where your teleport costs no mana if you haven't taken damage in the last 3 seconds. And it also reduces the cooldown to 2 seconds. Or by 2 seconds, which makes it 3 seconds. And then it makes it to where you do 10% more damage with your magic missiles. Magic missiles, if they all hit the same target, magic missiles does a lot of damage, especially if you end up taking Mirror Ball at level 16. Then he takes this talent that for the life of me, no matter how many times I attempt to pronounce this talent, I can never pronounce it quickly. But he takes the Orb talent at level 4. Now, the reason this talent has gained a lot more popularity in the past is because Domination got a nerf and this talent got a buff. And Domination was the old talent that was taken a lot in the competitive scene. It used to heal 25% of your current health, of your maximum health. And now it heals 30% of your missing health. So if you're getting a bunch of kills and you're really low health, it's great. But if you're kind of in the middle ground of health, it's not that good. If you're half health, it only gives you 15% of your health back. You can still get blown up very easily. So it's a little bit worse than it used to be, especially if you're getting multiple kills in a row. It doesn't just keep you topped off, it only saves you if you're really low, and if you're really low, you can get bursted at any time. So people started taking this talent because it gives you just a little bit more sustained damage during long fights, and it gives you more opportunities to get them low enough to where you can combo. It kind of makes it to where you don't need your team to allow you to get a reset anymore. Now you kind of build your own resets. There has been some debate over the value of this talent, particularly when I was talking to one of the best LiMing players that I've seen, Carbon. Carbon said that he ran the value out of 100 games of this talent, and he found that it didn't get as much value as he expected. But what does that really mean? I'll have to do a video with Carbon to show that. But here we're talking about TigerJK. I may need to move off of Locked because I want to see where these abilities are going. He misses a lot of abilities, but they're being fired alone without too much of his team's help, so at the same time, it's not necessarily they're being missed, it's that if only a single ability is being thrown out, it's relatively easy to dodge. In this case, he tends to fire his abilities in the same general direction. Maybe he'll stagger it just a little bit, and there are pros and cons to both of those. If you stagger your abilities, maybe throwing, let's say you throw one ability in this direction, hold on. You throw, let's say, one ability in this direction and one ability in this direction. And if there's someone that's standing, if there's an enemy that's standing like here, he might move in this direction to dodge this ability and end up getting hit by this ability. And so staggering your abilities can have some benefits in that you may still get a little bit of damage off even if the opposing player is trying to dodge stuff. And that's a kind of a neat way to answer that. But that's also still sort of limited in that you're only doing a little bit of damage. So his strategy tends to be mostly throwing both of his abilities at the same time at the same target, which has a lower chance of hitting someone, because if they see all the abilities coming in one direction, they move. But if it does hit, like we saw that first kill, it's going to completely destroy someone. So in this case, he's not using W too much if he doesn't think he's going to land it. He actually just heads down here and starts pushing. His team, he decides maybe they're not going to be able to get it. You see Malthael going top, you see him going bottom, and you see Mal'Ganis and Ana continue pushing. Now this forces the Raynor to go down, and possibly the Hanzo, and now that everyone's split up, Heavy can channel this, and it's very easy to keep them in these choke points. So again, he took a little bit of autonomy in that. Just because he's in a team and he's working together doesn't mean that he can't make a decision to go down bot, destroy a wave really quick, and then come back up. This is where the downside comes from this. If he would have staggered his abilities, he would have at least done a little bit of damage to Hanzo, rather than no damage to Hanzo. Now, level 7, he's taking Calamity. Calamity, in the video with Heavy, I explained how much value a single burst ability that could do around 300 to 400 damage is, when I was explaining the grenade and its prevented damage. But imagine just having straight damage that isn't reliant on the opposing team's healing, right? Calamity is the best reset talent in this entire kit for LiMing, because if everyone starts getting low, all you have to do is press E a whole bunch and everything dies. If they're not getting low, then you never need to go in. So it's just a really, really good talent. As far as following up kills, though, there are better talents, but this is the best reset talent in this game. Not in the game, but, I mean, it probably is pretty close. Ooh, that's rough. Pulls him right back into the Tyrael, but we also have the abilities to just jump out. Now, he's not taking damage for a while, so we get to see that teleport almost off cooldown, and he can continue just throwing abilities. Overall, there's nothing too crazy happening at the moment, right? He's playing like a normal LiMing. He is doing some macro things that most LiMing players wouldn't do, and those macro things are, oh, and look at that. He knew exactly where Dehaka would end up after the burrow was over. And, ooh, also taking out some structures really quickly. So, one thing that I notice he does is he plays very aggressive, but he focuses a lot more on macro than most people do on LiMing. And that damage is brutal. Without him landing that, that Malthael wouldn't have been able to get that ult there. So he aims his shots. When enemies don't know where he is, he can almost always land the shots. So it's clear that he's not ever missing abilities, it's enemies dodging abilities. Which could be a playstyle that you might be able to learn from, which is throw abilities from areas where the enemies don't know where you are more often. Stop throwing abilities from areas where people can see you, because that's all it took. Tiger threw abilities in an area where people couldn't see him. Boom. Secured a kill that his team wouldn't have secured without that. And he ends up taking Wave of Force at level 20. Sorry, level 10, excuse me. And at level 10, Wave of Force does a few things. Number one, it's an interrupt if there's anything that you need to interrupt. Number two, it's a quick damage ability that if you're getting resets, it allows you to quickly do burst, 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 burst. And it's a quick way to follow up resets. And then number three, it allows for a really powerful tool at level 20, which is Repulsion. Repulsion, in my opinion, I like to always call it a quick, long-range Horrify, because it immediately sends everyone on the team flying in different directions. So it's a long-range Horrify that's quick, and it's a low cooldown. A 20-second cooldown Horrify would be Gul'dan being banned every single game. And so Repulsion is a very powerful tool to lead to kills for your team, but there are also Repulsion combos. If you remember Poik, the Europe assassin player, he used to do these Repulsion combos. In fact, you can check YouTube and go look up some of his LiMing plays, and you'd see the craziest things you've ever seen. Now, are we going to see that coming out from TigerJK? Maybe we're going to see something crazier from TigerJK. We'll see as we get up to level 20, but as of right now, we are, again, watching him focus more on macro than most LiMings normally would. A lot of LiMings really focus on the fact that you've got this talent to keep poking endlessly, and they don't just go and kill waves. And this is something that you should be doing on LiMing, is he'll go and he'll just destroy some waves. And he'll kill the waves, again, Q's onto the wave, he's E, to just get around, get more damage on his Q, and he's focusing on waves and camps, more so than any other LiMing that I know. With all of that, once all the waves are gone, then he goes for some damage off of his orbs, off of his Q, and goes for a quick Calamity, seeing how much damage he can get off. When he gets focused, he just jumps away. Level 13, we saw that extra range coming out from his E. We do see a nano boost. He immediately jumps past Porky when he's trying to do that that stay a while. He jumps so he doesn't get slept by the stay a while, but his wave of force was on cooldown, so he wasn't able to interrupt the stay a while. However, he was able to do about 60% of all of their health, allowing that even though he did die there, his team is still able to win this fight. We'll fast forward through his death. And what we will learn from Tiger's playstyle is Tiger is what I call a playmaker. I've talked about the two different playstyles in my opinion, two very positive playstyles as playmakers and consistent players. You can have a little bit of both too, but Tiger is definitely more on the playmaker side, while we have Maka who's definitely more on the consistent side. Playmakers are great because they can make these huge plays that are game-changing, but they often risk a lot. And if you're behind and you go for a play and you don't know how to just play consistent, then you're going to keep dying and continually losing. So playmakers tend to be more feast or famine. If you're winning, you dominate as a playmaker. If you're losing, you get destroyed as a playmaker. So now that we see them kind of on an even playing field, the playmakers that are good can usually make it to where their team comes out ahead. And in this case, they're controlling the... It's even except for the structures, which, I mean, on this map means that they're very far ahead. But as far as experience goes, they're relatively even. We see he plays aggressive. He uses all of his abilities to immediately force him into... Or sorry, he uses his teleport and his repulsion to force him into a position where there's no way that Noah's going to be able to get out without at least taking his other two abilities. Now, if he had Mirror Ball, there's a chance that he might have led to that kill right there. But without Mirror Ball, they're actually... It's a lot harder to land those kills, and that's where we saw Maka throw out an ult there to try to at least maybe get that. With that, though, he did just pick up that, that siege camp, and now there's an objective. This is what's awesome about taking this right here, is it forces the enemies into one of these two clusters. So not only do you get the full potential of getting 6 damage from here, you get, or sorry, 3 damage from here, 3 damage from here, but you also get full control over this bottom objective, and you also force the enemies to enter through 3 small choke points, because they're not going to walk through here if you control the bottom. That's why controlling the bottom is so important. And when you're playing LiMing, this allows it to where your orbs can cover this entire area, right? So if you throw an orb over there, or you throw an orb over here, and again, I'm drawing it weird, but you get the point. It covers these entire areas. Now this area, you can only really cover about this much with an orb, but still, those choke points are huge, and forcing them into those choke points is key to see how they're going to continue holding this. Yeah. So again, we can see that he's just poking people down. From Fog of War, he did half of Raynor's health on the opposing team. He throws out his Q to try to break the Raynor's Raider, and you can see that's his actual focus, is seeing if any... Gets it really low, actually. And then he uses W's to try to zone out just a little bit. He ends up taking out Raynor's Raider. He uses his Calamity to get the Hanzo low enough to where the Malthael's ult would kill him. And then, after he's going to get this reset, he can reposition to get away from the Raynor in either this direction or in this direction. Or, because Tiger's a little bit of a playmaker, he could just try to kill Troy here. But instead, he decides to play it a little bit safer. Maybe he doesn't have 16 and he's just not sure about it. He ends up teleporting away after taking a couple hits from Troy, and it's looking a little rough for his team. Fighting down 16s is a little difficult, but they are still able to take that objective, and they're currently sitting at 36 to 8. And at this point, they are rolling through. He is diving into their team, not caring at all. He's going to be woken up by this. He is just dodging, getting out of the range of the structure, and he's staying back until his until his healer can heal him up. In this case, he teleports over the wall, and that's what I'm talking about a playmaker. Securing 2 kills that his team wouldn't have been able to get unless he was there, playing LiMing, diving behind structures, getting those kills. And so, I'm not telling you guys to be crazy like that, but sometimes limit testing is worth it. What I mean by limit testing is learning what you truly can do and what you can't do. And that is a great opportunity to learn what you can do, and if you die, then you learn that you can't do that. But if you don't die, this is where you learn the opportunities of what you can and can't do. And that's why that's why he's such a good playmaker, is he's played so many different situations that he knows what he's capable of. He knows, even down to the last 50 health, where he's going to live and where he's going to die. And it makes it, again, it makes it look like he's smurfing. Yet this is the semifinals of Division S. So it's like, it's literally the best 4 teams, the top 4 teams facing each other. And this is what it looks like. And that's what's so crazy about this. So this is what TigerJK's LiMing looks like. Make sure to give him a follow. He is a streamer. He streams quite a bit too. He can be a little crazy sometimes on his stream, but even without that, he is very educational. In this case, I do just want to point out that this is the enemy team, their last chance to do something great, because any one of these can close out the game for them. I think the best play would have been to just spread out to where you had 1 person on each and go for that. Having everyone together was a little bold, so they end up... He almost dies, does some damage over to Funds, and just kind of goes off to the flank, forcing the enemy team to never be able to take this objective. And he decides, you know what, I'm just going to head down bottom. I don't even need to tap. I can just go close out the game. So that's what TigerJK does. Down in the description down below, I'm going to give you guys his stream so you can give him a follow. He's a very educational streamer. You can ask him anything. He's coached competitive teams, he's coached major teams, he's played in the HGC. He is a very, very strategic player. He's an educated player. He will educate you guys if you ask him questions in stream. He does get a little crazy in stream though. He does call out some people, so be ready for a wild stream, but it is a very entertaining stream, and he does teach a lot. So I would highly recommend that. Check down in the description below, give him a follow, tell him NotParadox said hi, tell him NotParadox said he's awesome. But yeah, no, head on over there. As for the rest of this, guys, is this build good? This is a very mobile build, and for the type of playmaking that he does, I would say this is pretty good. There are other builds that are considered more meta, just changing around a level 1 talent a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm going to say this build is good. This playstyle is good, but it's going to require a lot of limit testing. You're going to die a lot learning what you can truly do, and you're going to lose a lot if you do that way. So if you care about your rank, you may want to go with a little bit of a safer playstyle, unless you're willing to lose a bit of rank to learn, and then get way more rank by becoming a playmaker. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to check out all of the other videos, especially in the Is It Good series, and make sure to check the description down below. You will be able to find the build for this, as well as you will find the stream for TigerJK, so you can give him a follow. Thank you guys again, and feel free to check out every other video.